Hello, Happy New Year's. I'm Erik Roby.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to the last week in review of 2012. Luckily, the Mayan calendar was wrong, and we can go back to the old-fashioned calendar that resets this week with no Armageddon. Today, we'll break down the top 10 stories of 2012 and usher in 2013. Let's get going. First, we are going to give you a special guide on how and where to party. There's so many good parties planned for New Year's Eve, and I'm the party queen.
You are?
I am. So you don't want to sit home in front of the television like Erik Roby, which is why I'm doing this segment. We have everything from bowling to, my favorite topic, bands. We will give you a full list during the break in our community calendar. So grab your pen and paper now. Get ready to write all this down. In Annapolis, there are some really good family-friendly options, such as fireworks at City Dock, which I did for a couple of years.
You shot the fireworks off at City Dock?
No, I did the celebration down at City Dock first night.
Oh, you did?
When I was younger. So much fun and so much culture.
Absolutely.
And there's a family package at Bowl Annapolis. The West End Hotel will feature a Beatles tribute band called The Return. And over in West County, you can check out, this sounds really cool, murder mystery theme at Finn's Restaurant in Crofton, or New Year's Eve around the world at Maryland Live Casino. Now that'd be pretty cool to spend New Year's Eve at Maryland Live Casino. Yeah. And in North County, there's the New Year's masquerade parties at Bamboo Bernie's and Cancun Cantina. And many of these parties require reservations, so be sure to call ahead now.
But where's the family-friendly stuff? I said
the family-friendly stuff. Bowling.
Oh, bowling.
You can go fireworks downtown.
Fireworks, okay.
Gosh, Erik, pay attention.
It's all about bands and parties with you, Lagana.
Again, we have all the phone numbers and details in the community calendar for this week.
Well, and if you are planning on celebrating with some adult beverages, please remember to have a designated driver, book a room at a hotel, or call a cab. That murder mystery party in Crofton actually includes a shuttle ride home, folks. It does. Sounds like good.
Sounds awesome.
I've never been to a murder mystery.
Butler does it.
You know what? We should have a murder mystery here at Week in Review.
2013. Murder mystery. It's on. Chuck, you got that?
Murder mystery. Well, folks, don't forget also there are programs available to help you get home, like Sober Ride. It's an easy number to remember, 1-800-200-TAXI. Taxi rides free up to $30.
We definitely want everyone to be safe out there. Now, let's get down to our top 10 stories of 2012. Are you ready for this, Erik?
I bet.
I'm
I
pretty
bet there's
excited.
some good ones.
We'll start at the bottom of the list, just making the cut. Drum roll, please. Nice, Erik. A little late. These stories were selected by our viewers. Wait, what is this?
That's right, Kristin. Number 10, it's Kristin Lagana makes her debut. You just made it. Bottom of the list, but you made it. She made her debut here on Week in Review. Can you believe it's been, well, not quite a whole year, but half a year that you've been on the show. And look how you've grown.
Thank you.
You're a real news professional now.
I am Veronica Corningstone.
Yeah, you're just not a recycle queen, garbage queen, whatever they want to call you over there. We'll be showing some of your greatest hits at the end of the show. And by greatest, I mean greatest, folks. But the viewers have spoken. Kristin Lagana, you're a hit.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. That means a lot. I'm honored. I think we've had bigger stories than that, but I'll take it. It's been great doing the show each week, and I've enjoyed getting to know you, Erik, and Chuck. I mean, I've had so much fun. And we're going to have an even better...
But not Dave?
Well, of course, Dave, when he's here, but you guys are always here. And we're going to have an even better 2013. I can feel it already. We've got murder mystery on the list. So let's go to number 9. Chuck, drum roll, please. Number 9 is the budget, housing, and employment making a slight recovery. We hit a high in total jobs last month. Housing prices are up, foreclosures are down, and hallelujah, furloughs came to an end for county employees.
You're welcome many times, Donna. Happy to do that. Definitely a big story, Kristin, and let's hope it continues next year. Let's go to number 8. We'll call this one So Long, Farewell. Marty Smith, the president of Anne Arundel Community College, retired after really leading that college into prominence for almost 2 decades. We wish Dr. Smith well, and of course, welcome new president, Dawn Lindsay.
Okay, so we're now down to number 7. We'll call this one Lightning Strikes Twice.
Really? No, it doesn't, but
Strikes
okay.
twice.
Twice, okay.
This one made the list because it is so unusual. We had 2 major fires at the same Odenton apartment complex. The Seven Oaks complex broke out in flames for the first time on September 30th, damaging a dozen apartments and causing almost $1 million worth of destruction. Firefighters were back there last month when 30 people were displaced by a 2-alarm fire. That one took 60 firefighters to get under control. No one was injured, but talk about deja vu.
That is deja vu. It's kind of scary.
It's sad and scary.
Well, number 6, Talking about a sad one, this certainly is a sad one. We all know about the terrible tragedy in Connecticut. Well, students at Meade High School are also dealing with quite a bit of grief after the 9th death of a student or former student this year. Students lost a friend to meningitis, several to pedestrian deaths, and some in tragic car accidents that claimed the lives of 3 former students during the wrong-way collision on Route 50. Our hearts and prayers go out to the entire Meade community.
There is more Week in Review to come, including the top 5 stories of 2012. Check out our community calendar for New Year's Eve celebrations around your county. We'll be right back.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Well, folks, in this week's Police Beat, we really get down to business in what our police officers are doing out there in fighting crime and keeping us safe in the rest of 2012 and into 2013. We now send it to Justin Mulcahy with more details on this week's investigation. Justin.
When officers arrived, they spoke with a 53-year-old male victim who indicated that he was making a delivery of fuel to the mobile station there, the gas station, at the location. That's when he was approached from behind by a male suspect. The suspect implied that he had a handgun, ordered the victim to turn over money. The victim complied and handed over money to the suspect. Now, the suspect continued to demand money. This time he wanted money from inside the cab of the victim's truck. The victim again complied, at least initially, but then resisted, produced a canister of pepper spray and sprayed that suspect in the face. The victim was able to ultimately subdue the suspect until police arrived on scene. Now, further investigation revealed that the suspect actually entered the mobile station prior to the citizen robbery and attempted to rob the store clerk by also implying that he had a handgun. The clerk was going to comply, but the robbery was interrupted by an independent witness inside of that store. The suspect in this case has ultimately been arrested and charged with 2 counts of armed robbery, 2 counts of robbery, along with 2 counts of first-degree assault, 2 counts of second-degree assault. He's also charged with theft over $100 and reckless endangerment. That suspect is Garrett Piercy, age 52, of Glen Burnie, Maryland. Now for our second incident, which took place on December 19th at 6:34 in the evening. That's when officers from the Northern District responded to a residence in the 200 block of Southerly Road in Brooklyn Park for a shooting. Now, when officers arrived on scene, they located a 27-year-old male victim suffering from a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to the upper body. Now, through witness interviews, it was learned that 2 male suspects entered the residence. One of them produced a handgun and announced a robbery. During the robbery attempt, the victim was shot and the suspects fled the scene. Officers searched the area along with K-9 and Aviation, and the evidence collection unit responded and processed that scene. The victim was transported to Harbor Hospital in Baltimore for treatment, and the investigation is ongoing. Back to you.
Thanks, Justin.
In this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight, Carolyn Ryan marks another end to another era with the retirement of Jug Bay's Chris Swarth. Carolyn.
Well, we're out here enjoying a beautiful December day on the brand new boardwalk at Jug Bay Wetland Sanctuary. And I'm here with Chris Swarth. This is kind of his swan song. Here is our superintendent of Jug Bay Wetland Sanctuary. Thanks for being on the show, Chris.
Sure. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's exciting to have a dedication for this project. It was a long time in the works. We came up with the idea about 3 years ago and then began working earnestly on it in the summer, September, October, finished it up about a month ago. So it's satisfying to see it completed, and I know it'll get a lot of use and enjoyment by many people over the years.
Great. Well, tell us a little bit about the boardwalk. How do folks get here?
The boardwalk is in the Glendenning Nature Preserve, which is within the Jug Bay Wetland Sanctuary. And the sanctuary is located in Lothian, just south of Wason's Corner. So to get to the sanctuary, you'd head south if you're up in the Annapolis area, and then come in off either Plummer Lane or Wrighton Road. This part of the sanctuary is open to the public 7 days a week from dawn till dusk. And once you're inside the Glendenning Preserve, you need to head out towards the Cliff Trail. We have maps. You can get a map either at the Wetland Center headquarters or check out the map on display at the kiosk at the entrance, at our 2 entrances. And then come out towards the Cliff Trail and descend some steps to the edge of the swamp and follow the boardwalk west, and here we are.
Great. And now you were talking a little bit about the waterway here and how folks can come here via canoe and kayak.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to come by water, and this boardwalk is built to be a takeout spot for somebody in a canoe or a kayak, you'd probably want to put your canoe in or whatever your vessel is up at Route 4 at Patuxent Wetland Park, which is a county managed park, and head south about 3/4 of a mile, and then turn east up a large intertidal channel. It's called Old Galloway Creek, and you'd head east for about a half a mile up the channel as it gets narrower and narrower until you arrive at this boardwalk here. And also, if you go to the Jug Bay website, which is jugbay.org, we have a lot of information and maps, so it would be easy to see where this boardwalk is by going to our website too.
Great. Now, I did mention that this is kind of your swan song. You are getting ready to leave us after 24 years
yeah.
with the department. So we will definitely miss you. What is next for you? Because I won't call it retirement.
Okay.
Because I understand you're still going to be working. So what's next for you?
Well, my wife and I are moving to California, where we are working with the new University of California Merced campus, which is the newest campus in that university system. And Merced is in the Central Valley, south of Sacramento. But we both will be teaching. My wife is setting up her laboratory there. She's a scientist. And I'll be working with a research institute to set up a research reserve around the campus. And that reserve will be open primarily to the faculty and the students at the university, where they can study ecology and environmental science.
Great. Well, you let us know when you're having a ribbon cutting dedication of a boardwalk out there, and we'll be out there.
Yeah, that may happen. Thank you,
Very
Carolyn.
good. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. We want to thank Chris for all his great work to help protect our environment and help people experience the great things Jug Bay has to offer. And with the new boardwalk, there's even more to enjoy.
Well, Kristen, I got to say, bottom 5.
Yep.
Really good. You made it into the bottom 5.
I made the list. It's amazing.
But that's the bottom 5. A lot of big stories in the bottom 5. And now we move on to, of course, our top 5 stories in 2012. And it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty, folks. On our top 10 list, Meade High School was sadly at number 6. But we also have a feel-good story that'll help lift the community when bad things are happening all around you. And often they come in the form of sporting events, of course, my favorite. The Meade High School football team not only knocked off the undefeated Arundel Wildcats, but also beat the defending state champion Old Mill Patriots en route to a regional championship. Congratulations to the Meade Mustangs. They're at number 5 on the list. And Kristen, I got to say, this Meade football team, they had a second-year coach. This guy, Rich Holzer, came in, took over the Meade Mustangs. We talk about him on our other show, Gridiron Review, but they went to Arundel. Arundel, a dominant powerhouse high school football team, defeated the Arundel Wildcats in the first round of the playoffs. Then they go to Old Mill High School, 2 games on the road. Old Mill High School just coming off a state championship win. They beat Old Mill High School to take the region championship.
Well, if he's that good, maybe he could do some offensive coordinator work for our dear Ravens.
For our dear Ravens. Our dear Ravens.
It really is a nice story, but how about this one? At number 4, we have the inspiring story of Jack Andreyka, the teenage prodigy from North County High School. This kid not only won the Intel Science Fair and spends his summers working at Johns Hopkins. No, there's more. He invented a litmus test to detect pancreatic cancer. We anticipate Jack will be back in the top 10 in the future. What a great story of what our young people can do. You know he's a big deal because he already has his own Wikipedia page.
Do you have a Wikipedia page?
I don't even have a Wikipedia page.
I don't even know what Wikipedia is. I do, just kidding. Well, down to number 3. Yeah, we're getting close, guys, on getting closer to number 1, that is. And you guessed it, Kristin, Mother Nature always ranks high on our list, especially here in the Anne Arundel County Mid-Atlantic region. Before, it was Snowmageddon and Hurricane Irene. This year, it was a young lady, a nice superstorm named Sandy. This was a once-in-a-lifetime storm. Luckily, it missed us a little bit, though.
Yes.
It did come close to the devastation here that the people did face in New York and New Jersey. But we were hit pretty hard and had some tragic losses and significant amount of damage. I hope weather doesn't make the list. That's my New Year's resolution for 2013.
I do want some snow.
We can have some snow, but not a Snowmageddon.
Snow. Yeah.
Little snow is good.
All right, so the tension is mounting, Eric.
I don't
We're
feel
getting down to that top story. At number 2, we have the presidential election of 2012. Barack Obama won a second term, but there were numerous local issues as well. Voters approved gay marriage and a 6th casino for the state of Maryland. They also made a dozen changes to the county charter, so pretty historic stuff.
A lot of changes from that election. A lot of long lines that you saw with it. A lot of people
Remember
turned
again,
out to
I'll
vote.
say it again, use the ballot that they send to you so you can
Use
get
a
yourself
sample ballot.
prepared. Use
Yeah.
your sample ballot.
Yeah, some people took an hour to vote in there, and they really didn't need to.
Mm-mm.
Chuck, do we have any drum rolls left? Because we've been drum rolling all night here on Week in Review, but we're finally at number 1, and I'm so honored to be able to deliver to you the biggest story for 2012 in Anne Arundel County. Sorry, Kristin, they gave me this honor this year. But can you guess what it is?
I can't. I'm completely clueless.
We talked about hurricanes. We talked about big high school football victories. We talked about some tragedies in the community.
Goodness.
What do you think it is?
Well, you got crowned Fair Queen at the Anne Arundel County Fair.
I did get crowned Fair Queen. I did a little Fair Queen wave.
Yeah.
Do I still have it? Does it still work right? I don't think
sort
so.
of. You wave a little bit more.
Yeah,
we'll work on it later.
We'll work on it. Well, what's the one thing we didn't talk about that will mean more fun, more jobs, and more money for Anne Arundel County?
Dave Abrams is going to pay out of pocket for everyone for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. It's the opening of Maryland Live. Think about it, Kristin.
Yeah.
I mean, is there another story that has such a wide-ranging impact on our county? I mean, this casino at Maryland Live has just brought in jobs. It's brought in people. It's been a major, major economic engine for that area of the county.
And it's really nice. I've been.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I think Dave Abrams should take us on a field trip.
So what do we think? As we go into 2013, do you have any predictions? Is there a story out there that you think's brewing or might happen in 2013 that's really going to make this list next year?
Are you going to get annoyed at me if I say something about recycling?
Of course not. You always say things about recycling.
All right. If I'm going to say that I have a huge story I want to happen in 2013, it's that we hit that 50% recycling rate.
That would be great.
That would be amazing.
That would be great.
If I had to say anything else, I always love the stories when we have young people on the show that do amazing things. So I just want more of those. I really love that. I loved when we had the little girl that
did the fire. Puts the book bags together.
The book bags together.
Lauren's Luggage, I believe.
Lauren's Luggage. Yes, thank you. I'm horrible with remembering what they're called. But more of those stories. Of course, the litmus paper with Jack and Drika. That was amazing. So more of those kinds of stories. You're more into the high school sports stuff than I am. I think it's awesome. And I went to South River, so I'm always happy to hear about the Seahawks. So I'll toss that out there. I want to see something happen with Seahawks football.
Seahawks football.
Seahawks football.
They made the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they were
playoffs.
good. What about you?
You know, I think it's going to be more about our economic recovery. I really got a good feeling going into 2013. I think we're going to have a good year. The economy is really going to start to rebound. We're going to add hundreds of thousands of jobs to this market.
See more benefits from the casino?
Benefits from the casino. You know, table games are coming up pretty soon. We'll have somebody on to talk about the expansion into table games and what that means for the county and what that means for the Maryland Live site.
Maybe I'll be that card dealer.
2013. You could be. You could be
that card dealer. And you know what? Maybe
I think you got a good clown outfit you could wear.
You stop it. That's not happening in 2013. No clowns.
Yeah.
No clowns.
The clowns.
But
I think we're going to get invaded by clowns.
Maybe Week in Review will get picked up by like national broadcasting and you and I will.
I think that'll happen in 2020 never.
Yeah, and we're going to go all the way with Week in Review. It's going to be a national show by the end of 2013.
A national show?
National show.
Kristin, I got to tell you something.
What?
Every year, I know this is your first full year on Week in Review, so you don't have any of these yet. But every year, Chuck, our producer, Chuck Duncan, puts together an assortment of outtakes from this show.
You're kidding.
Oh yeah, assortment of outtakes.
Oh yeah, you're
of
kidding?
What we call bloopers.
No.
I'm not kidding. Bloopers.
This is
when
not
you
good.
and I make mistakes, really you make mistakes. Not
I don't
so
think
much
so,
me.
Roby.
But when you make mistakes, when I make mistakes, occasionally they put them in this reel.
I'm
of
really
bloopers.
nervous about what's on this reel. I don't
So
think
I
this should
can't
see the
wait
light
to
of
see it. I
day.
haven't seen it yet, so I'm really excited to see what our bloopers
This
look
is
like
not a
for
good
this year.
idea.
So Chuck, if you would, please.
Chuck, please don't.
Go ahead
Chuck.
and roll those bloopers.
Chuck, I thought you cared.
Built a completely...
We'll be sure to keep you update.
It's not a correct word. It's a PG show. Don't say
Go to www.woundedwarriorproject.org, or you can click. Oh man.
Hello, I'm Erik Roby.
And I'm Tracy Reynolds, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll get a list of
Already?
In this week's Community Spotlight, Mark Chang and Kelsey McConkey are out at the Big Glen.
But that did not deter fans or performers from the. Oops, sorry.
Two oopses. Oops. Thanks, Justin. The police department would like to remind citizens to report drug activity. You can remain anonymous by calling the drug trip line.
Before we go on this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight, Carolyn Ryan tees off at Compass Point Golf Course to learn at.
Gwen Romack writes, "No, it's mine. Get your own bonfire legs." Logs.
Legs?
Lieutenant Timothy Altamere is a former
Battery or crank-powered
Fire coming from a one-story, middle of the group ship. Ugh, back that thing up, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yes, she performed her hit songs and delighted the crowd with her singing, but it was her singing out, or her singling out one,
is why you get on the bloopers.
Today we'll preview the crab soup cook-off coming to Annapolis, and we'll talk to an expert at how to.
Jeez. 3 seconds into the show and
Officers from the Eastern District responded to the 3300 block of Pescara Court in Pasadena for a suspect.
That means for special occasions, you will be able to adopt a furry friend for free. That's right, say that one time.
You couldn't even do it one time, 3 times. Well, if you're headed over to Maryland Live on your moped, what is this? What is it? What is this?
Only 2 minutes into the show, and this week.
God damn it, I just went to talk about it.
Boy Scout Troop number 441 in Pasadena Beach area, and yeah, start over.
Thanks, Kelsey. That sounds like a great event for the whole community.
You screwed up.
Come on.
Thanks, Chief. Law enforcement officials advised that the 2 other occupants of the Ford Explorer fled the scene and have not yet been located.
I was trying to catch that. Good luck piecing all this together, by the way.
Birthday challenge.
Hey, hey, would you stop talking so I can go here?
A little risque, I admit, but it was kind of cute. By the way, the posse was, of course, modeled after the pose. Posse.
That's all right. There's video.
Yeah.
Posse. That's David. You make fun of the words that I read sometimes.
The posse?
Well, you should have your Orioles jersey at, oh God, let's just start over.
Let's start over. Well, that's pretty neat, kid.
County firefighters, first county. Look at me today.
The fire at Odenton that sent more than 1,000 feet of flames in the air. But first, oh God, why can't I?
1,000 feet. Wow.
Wait, that's it. Oh, that's 100.
History making fire.
All right, this is it. This is last time.
County Executive Leopold said he was not disappointed, but surprised. What?
He was disappointed, but not
God,
surprised.
I can't read.
Beep, 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 beep.
And 5, 4, 3, 2. You're Erik Roby.
Do that again.
More than 40 animals were taken from a Pasadena home this week, and they are not your typical dog, name, spot kinds of pets. Did you type that?
Dog name, spot kind of pets. What's wrong with that?
That was right.
Spot needs to be capitalized. I know.
I didn't do it. I just copied and pasted.
Let's go to hot topics now. Did you see the picture and video? Is it my turn? Or is it
No!
Oh, I thought it was my turn.
Senator Ben Cardin clobbered challengers Don Benigno.
Okay, folks, we're going to remind you one more time. We might
Let's
remind
go,
you again,
so I can
but
mess up.
Really, you have to pay. Okay, I gotcha.
Let's start with the results. Senator Ben Cardin.
Cardin.
I got it.
Cardin. Say it with me.
I got it. Cardin.
Don't blame me. I didn't pass them, but I thought to make it fun for everyone. Every run. Every run. Shh.
On this week's show, we'll tell you how you can adopt a new pet for free and give you information about upcoming holiday events around the country. Oops. And we'll be sure to have you on the show to talk about your work gosh!
Jeez, Lagana.
Go back.
In this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight, Carolyn Ryan talks to
Now, y'all want to party like you do. Y'all want to party like us up in here and say, Sorry. I don't want to watch
Your face is red. Your face is red.
You shut your mouth.
Your face is red, man.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can't
So you still think we're gonna
achieve
get picked up?
perfection without making some mistakes on your way to the top.
Do you still
Eric.
think we're going to get picked up nationally syndicated?
Sure, why
after
not?
That? I
Sure,
mean,
why not?
You know, maybe Jay Leno would pick up some of our stuff, but
Whatever. Eric, what was your favorite moment of 2012? Not just with the show, but you personally.
favorite moment of 2012. That's kind of there's a lot of good moments. There's a lot of good moments. A lot of personal achievements. Professionally, a lot of good things happen with the family and friends. So I don't know that I can pick just one. Just a good solid year. 2012, but looking for a much better 2013.
Absolutely.
You?
I'd have to say finally moving to Baltimore, like I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna try it. It's not in Anne Arundel County, but it's just something I wanted to try, and plus I'm always here still anyway. But having my new place, lots of great friends that had babies and got married this week, or this year. This week. And celebrating with that. Met some really wonderful people this year.
Great.
And got on the Week in Review, like number 10. So that was
look
awesome.
at you. You can put that on your resume.
I can now.
Number 10, Week in Review. Bam.
I deliver the people their news.
You do indeed. And you did a great job of it, Kristin.
You
Thank
too,
you
Eric. Thanks for having me.
joining the family, joining the team here at
been
Week in
great.
Review. To all of our loyal viewers out there, thank you guys for following us, watching, commenting on our news and information. We try to put together in a lighthearted variety show for you. And our correspondents out there, our producer, all the folks that really put the show together to make it flow and work as wonderful as it does. We don't write this stuff.
Especially Chuck that edits everything
Chuck
we
edits
do.
everything out for us.
Thankfully.
Well, folks, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review, this year's edition of Week in Review, actually. You can watch this episode and all the others online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and on the YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes or like us on Facebook. Go ahead and do that at Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more news, highlights, and crazy things from around your county. We'll see you next time.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.